Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. So listen, I just got to say this, all right? Tina and I were just busting up for like 5 minutes before we went on here. We literally had to recompose ourselves before we started. I've missed you, my friend.
I missed you too. I said it feels like it's been months because it has been months.
It has been.
It's
Absolutely.
good to be back together.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tina Parker, for you that have not seen her on the show before, is the founder of Lead Outside the Lines. She leads with passion, guiding purpose-driven leaders toward impactful, soul-aligned success, which is just a beautiful thing. She's a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel with over 20 years of experience, former C-level executive. And you know what? Your list is just like
you don't have to read
amazing. It's amazing. Former C-level executive, transformational leadership expert. She really helps individuals discover and align with their true purpose for lasting transformation, which is fantastic. And of course, it's Tina Parker. It's all heart-centered and science-backed. So welcome back to the show, Tina, my friend. For people that don't know you yet, please tell them a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. So I spent 23 years in the Air Force, 7 active duty. The rest was reserve. And while I was a reservist, I worked for the Department of Homeland Security. I was a director of communication for an international operations center. I then switched over to Department of Defense, and I was the chief experience officer for a DevSecOps team. Worked with Air Force Innovation Catalyst, AFWorks, and so really got to do some amazing things on my journey. But what was the same for me every time, it didn't matter what the rank at the time was, the title, the job, whatever, I always approached my work with a sense of purpose, right? And really wanting to dig into what is the purpose for all the folks on our team, like everyone who's coming to the table to create the magic that was being created. Right? Because I really just felt like when we can show up in our purpose and we know that we're aligned and contributing in a way that matters to us, right? That fuels our soul. Not only do you get more out of your people, like their discretionary effort, but you know they're enjoying what they're doing and they feel like they're a part of something bigger. And so that has just been a thread throughout my entire career. And about 5 years ago, I got this harebrained idea to start a coaching company because I'm like, this is what I've been doing my whole career. This is my path, right? And I feel like we all have stepping stones along our pathway of life that lead us to where we are meant to be as human beings. Absolutely. If we listen, right, to who are we authentically and what do we want to bring to the world, and then have the courage to take that leap. And just as you have done, right, we've had the courage to go, let's see what happens here and create something. And so here we are.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I was reading all this, and Tina's also a elite certified neuroencoding specialist, just FYI.
Yeah, we're together in that.
That's how we met. So, Tina, in your journey from military service to transformational, see what happens when you try to read? Transformational leadership. How did discovering your true purpose really shape your path? I mean, you knew it was there, but when did you realize this is what I really want to do? I want to serve other people.
Yeah, it's it's interesting because I think for a lot of us, we have moments throughout our lives where we realize, and then sometimes we go, yeah, but I'm not ready, or I don't know enough, or who's going to listen to me, and like all the critical self-talk things that come up, right? And so for me, I think my first time I really remember like, yes, this is what I want to do is when I left active duty at age 30. And after 7 years, and I was like, okay, I know this is what I want to do. And you take that leap of faith and you step out, and sometimes life kind of throws you some things and you go, okay, am I really ready for this? Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, right? But whatever happened, I went back into serving in the reserve and federal government and continued to serve in that way. And it was in about 2019 when I joined AFWorks, the Air Force Innovation Catalyst. And it was amazing because we were charged with doing things different, right? The Air Force said, look, what do we not know that we don't know? Let's go out there and let's bring in garage tinkerers and small businesses and let's ask airmen what they think. Novel concept, right? Your new folks who are coming in. And so we brought all of this together and really created something magical for people to contribute and bring their ideas to the forefront. And that's when I really again started connecting to the idea of my purpose here and what I create wherever I go is bringing people together and helping them align with what is truly in their heart and who they are and how they are in the world so that they can shine. Right. And it radiates to others. It magnetizes the right people that are aligned with you into your life like this. Right? Like that's why we're here together, and so that's really what I wanted to help create the conditions for others to be able to step in and do it. And, yeah.
Wow. So, and thank goodness, right? I mean, thank goodness you took the step, because for most people, finding that purpose, or even I'll go with fulfillment for themselves in their life, too many things get in the way and they don't take that leap, that little inch step. Yeah. And if you fail, you learn from it, you pivot, and you move forward. So I know, let's just say for the podcast, right, Tina? I mean, holy wow. I've never done this before. Took that leap of faith, and the coaching programs and training programs that I do as well, just like you. I mean, we learned and we took from the best that of what was around us, I think, and move forward, right? Because that's what mistakes are, is learning and moving forward in life. So, I mean, neither one of us would be here.
Well, and that's exactly right. And especially for military and veterans, like we kind of can get conditioned with this whole notion of failure is not an option.
Right.
I mean, when I did my TEDx talk about being selected to lead a team of 70 all-male drill sergeants at 28 years old, I was like, what am I doing here? This is insane, right? That I came into it with that notion of like, I cannot fail at this. And there was a lot of pressure. Right. But what I learned, though, throughout my career, and especially when I connected with AFWorks, is failure is learning. Like you don't learn or grow if you're not failing. And if you're not failing at anything, it really means you're not putting yourself out there. You're not expanding into your full potential. Right. And so I think for a lot of veterans, especially, we kind of have this ingrained conditioning that I have to get it right, that I can't fail. I have to know all the steps before I take a step. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's so backwards. It is so backwards because we get the clarity when we take a step. So when you have this idea and you're like, oh, I think I want to go do this, but I don't know how. And you sit and paralyze yourself in this swirl of I don't know. Take that one step, just like you with the podcast, right? You're like, okay, we're going to start small. We're going to take a step. We're going to figure this out and look where you are now. But had you not taken the step, you wouldn't know probably half the things that you know now about running a successful podcast.
Absolutely. And it's not just that, it's the people I've met.
Yeah.
When you start getting out there, you start talking to people and start making those connections, the world opens up.
Absolutely.
I mean, the world
people don't know what's inside you.
Yeah.
Right. People don't know. And when we walk around with this mask of like, oh, I have to be this way, nobody can connect to that. And that your energy doesn't magnetize the aligned energy because the universe is like, okay, I know who you are, but you're showing up this way. And this does not match. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah. When you're out of integrity, people feel it. The energy is different. And when you feel alignment with yourself, you draw the right people.
Yes.
Like you said, you really do. The magnetism just happens. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let's talk a little bit about purpose, all right, or fulfillment. So, what do you define purpose? What do you look at when you say, or when you're teaching somebody about purpose, so they understand what they're really looking for? So I want the audience to kind of understand what to look for when you're trying to think about it, so you can get out of your own head, because it's very easy for it's the human condition, and especially veterans and first responders, all of them, they really get into the head, and it's a human condition. It's not just veterans. I promise you, I work with all kinds of people. It's not just veterans. They get in their head and they talk themselves out of things before they give themselves the opportunity to step forward and shine. So talk to me about purpose. What does that look like for the average person? And I'm not going to say average person, for people, because none of us are really average, are we?
Exactly.
It's about finding that purpose. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing about purpose, and we tend to kind of go, okay, what am I good at? I should stay in my lane. The things that I've proven to myself that I can do, that's not it, right? We have skills that we're good at. We have talents that we have a natural propensity to be good at. Doesn't mean you don't have to develop it, right? But we have a natural propensity to that. And then we have desires in our life. And I like to think of purpose as the intersection between all of these things. And one of the ways that we get into it is like, people, I'll ask them like, what do you want to create in the world? Right. And they'll give me an answer. And it's usually surface. And that's okay. That's the place to start. And then you've probably all heard the 5 whys, right? Well, why is that important? Why is that important? Right. So you go 5 times asking yourself, well, why is that important? Why does that matter? Why is that something that's on your heart, not your mind, right?
Yep.
What is that on your heart? And when you get to level 5, go 2 more times, keep going. Like the 7th level, that is when the core, and you feel it. You'll feel it in your core, like in your gut, in your heart, your whole body will go, oh, that's it, right? It's the reason why. Why do I get up in the morning? Why do I show up to things that when I'm tired? Or why do I put in the effort to things that are really important to me? That's where your purpose lies. It's in that core. So that 7th level, and trust me, it is annoying as heck. I love doing this with people because when I ask them like the 5th time, they're like, I don't know, I already gave you an answer. And it's like, keep going. And by the time they get to 7, they're crying.
Yeah.
They're literally crying.
Yeah, it's deep. And it really is finding out, what do you want? What would you love even more so? And that's what keeps you up late and gets you up early, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a smile on your damn face going, yeah, I get to do this today.
And as Joseph says, shaking your attitude, right? In our neuroencoding community.
So you should explain that, because some people haven't heard about that yet. And you're leaving a little out of context.
I know. So we're in the Neuroencoding Institute together, Michael and I. And Dr. Joseph McClendon, the third, is our instructor. He's the founder of neuroencoding. And it's one of the things he teaches. If you've ever been to Tony Robbins, you've probably seen Joseph. You've heard him speak because he's been speaking on Tony's stages for 30 years. And he's one of his core speakers. But he has this thing, it's called shake your attitude. Right? When you move your body in a joyful, jovial way, shaking your butt, hands, like smiling, you're actually helping your physiology catch up, right? So you're teaching your body to feel jovial, to feel joyful, right? And that feeling will take you, what you think, so you feel, so you do, so you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just gonna, add on to that. So, Joseph's been on the show and he's gonna be on again, but that itself, just when you hear attitude, okay, and we're gonna get focused again here, but let me just do this. It makes you smile all by itself, right? Yeah. And then especially after you do it, because it releases all those good hormones in your body and your brain saying, hey, I want more of it. And it's one of the key things that we teach as neurocoding, instructors, if you will. So it's really just amazing, and I'm glad you went through it. So thank you very much. So if you ever get a chance, check out Joseph McClendon III. He's absolutely fantastic. So as far as that purpose, so okay, I went through the 7 whys. I'm crying.
I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
I feel it. And you're gonna cry and smile at the same time, most likely.
It's a good cry. It's not the I don't want to do this cry. It's the wow, I have finally connected to this level that lights me up.
Yeah.
That's the cry.
Now, Tina Parker, what do I do with that?
Good question. Good question. Here's the magic. When you get to that space where you are so physically, viscerally connected to this purpose, possibilities start opening up for you, right? We get like, well, what am I supposed to do with this now? Sit with it. That's what I'm going to tell you. Sit with it. Be in that energy. That energy will radiate. Your brain, the way your brain works, what you focus on is what you're going to get more of, right? Where focus goes, energy flows. So when you're sitting with that, you're feeling it in your body. Your brain is going, oh, that's what we're looking for. Oh, well, dang, I wish you told me earlier. I got you, right? And it'll start finding opportunities and possibilities aligned, right? There's a part of your brain, it's called the reticular activating system. We won't get too deep and technical because I'm a brain health trainer as well with Dr. Daniel Lehman. I geek out about this stuff, but
I don't know.
but it's like if you ever bought a new car, right? And you're like, oh, this car is so unique. I hardly ever see this car on the road. It's going to be awesome. You get in your car and literally when you drive home, you pass 10 others that look exactly like the car you just bought. You thought there was nothing else on the road like it, but until it's in your awareness, you don't see what's around you. Right. And so that's one of the biggest pieces about this work is we get ourselves stuck because we don't know the how, but you don't need to know the how. You need to be viscerally connected to what is most important to you, aligned with your authentic, courageous self. And you will start to see the possibilities and opportunities aligned with that when you're connected to it.
Absolutely. I'm going to add, if I can,
Yes.
two things. You do have to take an action.
Oh, of course.
Sit with it. It will come. Absolutely agree with what you said, but just you do have to take an action. So when I say that, the second thing is a 2% change in what you're doing. 2%.
Mm-hmm.
That's getting up a couple minutes earlier to go write something down, to make notes, to strategize, to brainstorm with yourself or other people, any of those things, just to get started, to take that action. When you steer that ship, you get on the board and you have a destination, and you don't really like the destination because, well, let's just use a hurricane because that's what everybody's kind of dealing with right now.
Yeah.
There's a hurricane. Well, you know what? You steer the ship 2 centimeters, 2 millimeters, 2 inches to a different direction, 2 degrees. You're not going to go to the hurricane. You're going to end up in a whole different destination, my friends.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up the action because that is the next thing. When you recognize the possibility and the opportunity, you get to step into it, right? That is your honor and your privilege is to be able to step into it. And something that I would love to share, because I'm also a woman-centered coach, right? And so I work with a lot of women. In fact, we just did a dinner Wednesday night, a mastermind dinner with women, and a third of the women in the audience were veterans. Right. And so it was really wonderful to have this conversation because what holds us back is in here. We think it's because I don't have this skill or I don't have that connection or whatever, but the resourcefulness is inside of us. It's not outside of us. And there are patterns that we get ourselves into. And it just happens, right? This is no judgment about anybody. Everybody gets into these patterns of I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I have to do everything by myself. Like there's 21 patterns that show up consistently with the 70,000 women that the Institute of Women-Centered Coaching has coached. They see it over and over. So when you think you're by yourself and nobody will understand, not the case. Like, we all have these, right? But it's in breaking those patterns that allows us to step in courageously and fully when we discover our purpose. So both of them are important.
Yeah, fantastic. So when and we're going to get more into the next step, obviously taking action and you know, from there. So how do you recognize the negative pattern? Let's go there.
Yes. Okay. There's a couple of things. And the nice thing about every single one of these patterns is we've mapped out a pathway to start to recognize when that particular pattern shows up, to then what are the skill sets, the mindsets, and the capacities that everyone can develop in order to start breaking that pattern and move forward, right? So one of the things I will say is whenever you are thinking to yourself, oh, I have this amazing idea, or have this really great feeling in my body that I want to go do this thing, but yeah, but okay, the that is the killer of your dreams. It is the killer of your ideas. And people need you. People need you to share your story. They need you to bring your ideas out into the world. It's how we grow as humanity, right? It's how we connect as humanity. When you go, yeah, but who's going to listen to me? Yeah, but I don't have it as bad as they do, right? These kinds of things that come up. And when the other thing, so let me just pause there because I don't want to go too fast. Yeah, but is the first. The second is when you go, yeah, but I should be. I should be doing this. I should be further along. I should be over here. Okay. I think we've said this before, but stop shoulding on yourself, please. It is not a good look for anybody. Okay.
Can I tie this together just a little bit?
Yeah.
Don't be the butt shitting all over yourself. Sorry, it just came to me and I just could not help myself.
All right, you're not going to forget that, people.
I see bumper stickers. I see bumper stickers.
That's a t-shirt and a bumper sticker right there. Don't be the butt shitting all over yourself. I love it. I love it. Because basically what you're saying to yourself is, I am not where I need to be. I don't have what I need. I'm not the person to. Well, I got news for you. If it has come into your heart and it has come into your life and your mind, you are the person, or else you would not have the thought, the feeling, the notion that, hey, there's something bigger here for me.
Yeah. And wouldn't you say that really it's all the fears that jump in the way that we start shitting all over ourselves or being the butt? Oh, sorry.
We're not going to get away from that. I think that's our thing moving forward.
Ever. In fact, it might be a new logo for my company. But wouldn't you say that it's the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, and the number one fear I found pattern wise, and I look for patterns, that's what I do, is that fear of rejection. I mean, there you have procrastination, hesitation, fear of rejection, fear of failure. I mean, you have all of those the toxic 10, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's fear of rejection, I think, gets most people, next to actually fear of success, is what I found. How about you, Tina?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And when we talk about fear of rejection, it's like, okay, what do we perceive now? And I want to be careful. Like, this is a perception. This is not reality, peeps.
It's your thoughts.
It is. It's your thoughts. It's what you're creating in your reality. Your thoughts, your reality. Here we go. Right. So when you have this fear of rejection, that's not the problem. Everybody's going to have fear, right? My daughter, I teach fixed mindset versus growth mindset, but she doesn't listen to me. So I put her in another course from somebody else.
She's saying she's your daughter.
Exactly. She's like, I got it. I'm going to do it my way. I'm like, okay.
She got to be in the place to want to hear it.
Yes. Well, and she hears it from someone else, because what I was just going to share, she shared with me yesterday. She goes, Mom, I learned something in this thing you put me in. I'm like, oh, cool. Share with me. She goes, it's about being brave, not fearless. Because fear is always going to be there, but I still get to be brave. And I'm like, hallelujah. Thank you for listening to what they were telling you, right? Because that's the key, is the fear will be there, right? But it's the things that we make up about the back end is, if I'm rejected, that's shameful. It means somebody didn't want me, right? No, people are making choices because of their own stuff, not because of you, right? The other thing is, if I'm rejected, I'll be alone. I'll be isolated. People won't want to be, it means they don't want to be around me. It means I don't have what it takes. No, it doesn't mean any of that. But we make up these meanings about these things and the fears that we have, versus going, oh, that fear means that this is really important to me. Like, I have something to lose here. So the fear is there, right? The thing you really have to lose is yourself if you don't step in. and do what you know is in your heart to do and is your path in your life. You got one of them. Step in.
Yeah. Fire the gun. Stop
Fire.
aiming.
Exactly. We can aim forever. Aim forever. Fire the gun. If you miss, you just get to readjust, right? That's the beauty of it.
Learn from it and adjust. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You know, it's funny. I go back, quick story, because I know we're getting low on time, but quick story. I remember when I first joined the Neuroencoding Institute, I was on a training with amazing Dina Keller, as we know. And she talks about it a lot. And it's literally stop aiming, just fire, learn from it.
Exactly.
And fire, because your aim is going to get better each time.
Yes.
And guaranteed at some point you're going to be hitting that target, and then people are going to ask you how you did it. And that's how you create a ripple effect, and it changes things.
Yes.
And from that time, I did that with Vinu, and I was talking to her, and Vinu's a friend as well. Written 2 books, company, I mean, podcasts, and it just goes on and on. It's just who can you touch? Who can you connect with and change even a 2 millimeter shift for them to create that ripple effect and see what's changed down the road. It's mind blowing and puts you in such a grateful place, because it's not about you. It's about serving other people. That's what purpose for me is about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And something too, to just piggyback on that, is if you had waited until you believed that you were the expert in all of these areas to do anything, we would not be sitting here right now. None of this would be happening, right? But we get this notion that, well, I have to be at the mountaintop before I can talk to the people who are standing down at the bottom looking up going, how do I get there? No, you don't. You just need to be one step ahead on your journey in a way that it connects with what they want to do and create in their life too. And your story matters, right? We can look at people, we get into the comparison game all the time. Like, well, I don't have it as bad as that person, so I'm not going to. No, your story is your journey, and nobody has your journey and your story and your skill set and expertise in the right package that you have.
Love that. Yeah, absolutely true. And you look back, there was a person that was in a training as well. I'll just talk about this really quick. And it's like, they asked, hey, how do you train CEOs if you've not been a CEO? So here's something that was brought up. It was, what about if you see the gap those CEOs don't see because you're not a CEO yet and you have all that on the ground experience? When I started the construction company, I learned from everybody else all those years. And I look back now and it's like, wow, again, gratefulness. Mm-hmm. If you can see yourself through someone else's glasses or eyes, what they see, that we sit there and try to protect ourselves, our brain naturally starts trying to protect ourselves and telling us all the shit. Let's just call it what it is.
It is.
It is. I mean, Tina Parker, you did this, right? When we talked a long time ago.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I was just picking your brain. I was like, I don't want to talk to Tina Parker, looked up to you, all those things. Still do, of course, my friend. But
same.
You saw something. And all of those things, if use someone else's glasses to see what they see in you, because your mind is playing tricks on you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you brought that up, because you and I were just having a conversation, right? Yeah. And this happens in coaching conversations, right? Some people are like, why do I need a coach? I had a coach in sports, but why do I need a coach in what I'm doing over here? It's because that coach will help you to discover and uncover things that you can't see yet, right? Possibilities beyond the horizon that you can currently see, because you're only going to see as far as you know. And so when we bring people together, even in the conversation with you and I, right? The conversation was around like you serving veterans and what is it that they're looking for? And you were connected to it. And all I did was listen to what you were telling me. And I said, it's an excited anticipation.
I remember.
You get to help them connect, to be excited and anticipate what's coming next, right? You were saying it already. But when I said those words, you went, wait a minute. Oh, that's it. Right?
And I totally still use those words to this day.
And that's perfect.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
if you had stayed in your own head,
Mhm.
and I do it too, if I'd stayed in my own head about things, I would be missing what's really possible and what the pathway is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, everybody's I have to and I need to. You get to, man. You get to get rid of those other two words and put that one word in there. It changes everything. And and Tina, I just want to say one last thing is I remember that conversation, and you know what affected me is you being vulnerable and talking about your story. That's what made the difference for me, my friend. And that's literally what changed my direction. And I'm so grateful for it because it gave me so much clarity.
thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
And
Truly.
that is what is possible when all of us feel comfortable enough in our own skin. We trust ourselves enough that,
Mhm.
hey, even if somebody rejects me when I share my story, that's about them, not me. And I get to be comfortable in sharing my story because it's mine,
Mhm.
and had I been like, well, I'm going to put on the lieutenant colonel hat and I'm going to make sure that I'm showing it. Like, no, nobody wants that. People want you exactly as you are.
Absolutely.
So show up as
And
you.
yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely beautiful. So we're totally past time.
Of course we are. We always are.
Shocking. Shocking. Tina, if you can give us 3 tips to get veterans and their families and first responders further faster.
Yes, absolutely. Further faster. The first one, I'm going to reiterate, get rid of yeah, but, right? Whatever it is that you want to create, it's in your heart and your mind for a reason. And you have been given this gift and this vision because you are the one to bring it forward. So get rid of yeah, but, trust yourself, and always be connecting to your higher purpose, because you will start to see the possibilities and opportunities and the people aligned who can help you move forward faster.
Excellent. Very good. So with that said, Tina, how do people reach you?
Yes, you can go to my website, leadoutside-the-lines.com. We have a Visionary Women's Accelerator coming up. It's just going to be so amazing. A big mastermind opportunity with powerful women who are supporting each other, elevating each other, and creating resources and possibilities for moving forward. So go to the website, check it out. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Tina Parker. Would love to hear from you.
Excellent. Excellent. So Tina, thank you again. Again, I say this every time because it's so true to my heart. Time is the most precious resource we have as humans. We don't get it back, my friend. Thank you for spending this time. Thank you for spending all the times and just that amazing friendship that we have. Thank you. Thank you for all of it.
And thank you for everything you're doing, Michael, for the veteran community and anyone who listens to your podcast, because it's just gold.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That got chills and everything. I appreciate that. That means a lot. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening, and we are out of here.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.